welcome to another episode of AI Amigos show. My name is Marina. I was sick last week and I missed a great episode, at least being present here. But guys, of course, I listened to you and I had so much fun. And today I'm very pleased to be back, feeling much better, and here talking again with my friends Jianchao and James. Guys, thanks for being here again.
Everyone.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun last week too, didn't we, Jen?
We did, yeah. 2 people are so much better than 3.
Yeah, I know, but I watch you as well, and it was great seeing you talking that much and always about interesting topics. And speaking of which, and talking about interesting topics, today we will actually tackle a topic that everyone is talking about online, or many IT people, and it is about what happened with DeepSeek. And what is the future of the language models, if OpenAI is actually under risk or not. I have some thoughts here to share with you guys. I just saw many interesting facts this week. For example, every time that I was trying to use it, it was super slow or it was super busy at the moment. And I was a user before. So do you think that the company is actually ready to receive many users as it happened this week?
I don't think so, because this suddenly exploded on the internet, and just purely because the cost. I think it's like 2 cents for million token input or 2 cents for output or something like that. It's ridiculous cheap. And you're talking about any other places would be like €5 or $5-ish for token, same amount of token input. So yeah, if you're lucky and get the API before this boom, you still can use it. But right now, I can't even go into their API platform at all.
So you used it, right, John? You used it.
I did. I was luckily used for 2 weeks, and I really liked it. And then I already quit my OpenAI subscription, but I kind of having doubts now because everybody go in there. I can't really run it. Give me my free stuff back.
I told you. So this week was actually down many times, and it actually made me wonder: is the company really ready? Because of course, like the explosion and the fact that they claimed that they were much cheaper than using any other API, not only OpenAI but also Gemini or mixture of experts. And it made me wondering if really the technology in China is that big and that good and at the same level. It's something that maybe we can think of and check what is happening in the coming days, right?
Yeah, I think the technology probably there. It's just the what do you call it, the amount of a card we have. They're still, as I know, they're still using H100S or something like that. But that's not the newest card already. Even it's really expensive, but 30 grand a card, right? But they're the last generation. The newer one, like all the OpenAI is using, called GB200. They're much, much powerful. But this company, a lot of Chinese company purchased NVIDIA card before the ban. So there was a hype. A lot of company purchased those cards. They are still using those cards to this day. And I think they have they have a limited amount of resource. They had to be innovated on top of it. I think that's where they kind of kind of nailed it kind of way, so yeah.
But Jan, something that I just remember now, it's not only the price or the cards that you can use it, but what is happening with the data privacy, with the cross-border data. I know that Europe has a lot of regulations, and in my opinion, and I mentioned this many times before here, I think the over-regulations are actually slowing down the advancements, of AI. Do you think that this will be a problem now, James? Maybe, I don't know if you heard something in your company, in your role, that
Yeah,
you are all the time with people that uses APIs.
a couple of things in there. If you think about it, like, this one of the things that happened just recently was that TikTok. Now, there's over 20 countries that have banned TikTok use for government officials, where the U.S. was banning it for everyone. And I'm thinking, well, if they were doing that with, TikTok, what are they going to do with DeepSeek? I think that if that's where the issue in data, that
It's
could
even
be.
worse. If you think about the data that you can transfer, there is actually much more than TikTok.
Yeah, when you go back to data rules, the U.S. doesn't have as comprehensive or as strict rules as Europe does. With it, you have GDPR here. You have also the EU AI Act that are there meant to protect us, but we don't. There's none of those. There's one in California. They're talking about adding more to it. Now that's not AI regulation, but it is data regulation. So it is interesting. But apparently, looking at DeepSeek, the training data is much more domain specific than it is, as large scale. And going back to when you were saying about the costs, we also have to look at not only the costs that we're paying, but they were even saying that OpenAI, because of all the money they spent on, as you said there, John, hardware, and forget about the amount of time for training and energy use, that they're barely turning. I don't even think they're turning a profit.
No.
So the
No.
question is then, how is that going to affect these companies first out of the gate, particularly if they spent a lot of upfront money, and then now we got someone DeepSeek that's not as much money. I think there was only like $6 million was invested into it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then now it's taking out companies that are worth billions. But
Mm.
equally, I still think that the market capitalizations, the market ran away with valuations. Nvidia became the largest company on the planet by valuation.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and that's really interesting point because last Friday it was a huge crash, right? The stock market was crashed.
600 billion
Totally,
market
yes.
Yeah.
cap was knocked out in a day.
So yeah, so that was the thing. Like whenever those OpenAI as a startups, when they get funding, it's basically okay. When we put 20 billion in, like in the future, maybe we can get 40 billion
Right.
back or something. Now, like, um, do we need to put 20? Like other company put 6 and got this, And then the next thing, a different level is actually the Nvidia. Like, all your old car is good. Why are you selling me the good the new stuff, the more expensive stuff? So
More
those
money.
are
More
questions.
money.
Yeah,
But there is another thing here, Jan, because it is true
yeah,
that people are putting the eye on NVIDIA and DeepSeek and what is happening. Like now, if we were paying like 20 and we can pay less, and this is like
yeah,
a fraction and everything. But also, Mixtral is working on a better model than they were offering before. I don't know if you remember, we already worked together, we deliver a workshop together, we talk about the mixture, the mixture of experts, the agents, etc., so that they were already,
yeah,
going towards that direction, that this is where we are today. So then, in my opinion, they were visionaries in that sense.
mm,
But they also have these sub networks, where they use the input, they make it more efficient, and maybe it's at the same price as OpenAI. We have to see. Nobody's talking about that.
Hmm.
because yeah, definitely Mistral has been quiet for like a while now, isn't it?
I know, yes, yeah, but this is my point, and
Who
they
are you
make
talking
something
about?
that is amazing, very efficient, and then what they think is like, okay, everyone is so worried about DeepSeek that probably will be banned in Europe. Sorry, guys, like I know that we cannot make like futurism here, but with all the regulations and the privacy, imagine if some countries they ban TikTok, imagine with this one. So I believe that the biggest competitor of OpenAI, it will not be Gemini, probably will not be DeepSeek. I think the one that is coming for them is Mixtral.
Yeah.
That's my opinion here.
I mean, the
Because
other aspect of DeepSeek is it's open source. You can run it yourself. It doesn't really like you can get Olama. There's a different model from 1.5 billion all the way to 32. So if you have a okay computer, let's say a powerful one, of 14 billion is good enough already. So
Totally.
yeah, yeah, it's
Totally. And but then it makes me wonder now when we are talking and I listen to you guys as well,
yeah.
I'm wondering, so if the goal is not the profit, what is the goal of DeepSeek? Why coming out now, and showing, okay, we have created something that is great for a cheaper price, and much better than whatever is already in the market. So what is the purpose if it is not the profit? Do you think that it is a kind of political strategy, let's say,
Hmm.
to go against big corporations in the Western countries?
I don't know. I mean, like it's great. I would say, from my point of view, I think it's investment. I mean, like I did it for 6 million. Give me more money. I did even better thing. I think it's an element of that, and
Yeah, but
like
now the server is down. So I mean, like with everyone going, after the explosion, the server is down. So then it's not really a way to actually try and at least in a proper way, right?
but
As you
we're
were
we're
using this
really
before.
yeah we're really a small individual doesn't contribute more. I mean, there's a collaboration with all different company. Maybe they're talking now. Oh, your one is a lot cheaper. Let's have a collaboration project or something. I don't know. What do you
And
think,
that would
James?
make a lot of
Probably you know
sense.
more about those funding.
Well, all I'll say is I think obviously they are a disruptor, and if they were, I don't think they expected it to be as big as it became.
Yeah,
And the reason I'm saying if they did, the traffic, we wouldn't be having problems, John. This week, you trying to access your
yeah,
link there.
yeah. I
So
was so
You are
pissed.
blocked. You are banned, Shan.
but I hope they fix that for you, John. I'll
Yeah,
send
didn't
out
even help the Chinese brother here. What the hell?
exactly. Exactly. But I think as well, like if you go back to, I mean, right now we have a lot of companies that are coming out and a lot of innovation, and it's pretty interesting. It reminds me of like when the big tech first came out and with the internet and everyone and web browsers and search engines. Like you think about like there was like America Online. Remember that was one that was a big one. Well, that was one I remember. This is probably going to date me, or think about Yahoo or there was Netscape. There was a lot out there, and those
Hmm.
guys didn't survive. And it's and I think probably what the play is going to be with DeepSeek is they're going to buy them.
Mm.
That's what I think. I think that's the play they're going to do. I mean, I don't see any. It's either death by $6 million or just buy them and then start charging.
Well,
So
that could be another thing. It's like, okay, now we start charging you. Basically, it's the same strategy as OpenAI, because you remember ChatGPT was free, everyone was using it, and then eventually it became slower, slower, slower.
Yeah,
And I had this conversation with you, James, and you told me you get what you pay for, and that was the moment that I switched to the paid subscription.
yeah, but equally, I mean, OpenAI when they first came out, they were a nonprofit organization,
I
and that
know,
was
I remember.
one.
So that's why I say it's similar. If we compare,
Well,
it's actually a very similar strategy.
they started as a nonprofit organization, and then that's when Sam Altman got fired. I don't know if you remember, if everyone remembers that way back
mm,
when he
Yes.
got fired because he wanted to go from a nonprofit organization to a profit organization. Because there's in a nonprofit organization, the board is who rules. They're the
hmm,
ones that make the decisions, not the CEO.
yeah,
And this is why he's like, no, I want to do the direction of this company.
I want to be the
I
one
want
who
I
makes
want to
the
fire the
finishes.
board.
yeah. Now it's probably hard to explain now. Oof, our investment. Where do we get invest? But there's another funny effect on the DeepSeek. It wasn't this cheap before, so there is internal war with AI in China as well. I don't think they care about it outside the China, because inside China is big enough market for itself. So they initiated cut the price by 50%, and
for,
then
for market penetration, basically.
yeah, and then all the Alibaba, all the competitors start cutting the price as well, and that to be the price as
Mhm.
it is right now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And maybe, Jan, you know more about this because of your contacts in China and people that probably there.
Hmm.
But if the idea is not going out or going to the market that is outside China, what's the purpose of exposing themselves? Just for investment?
Mm.
Well, they did
Like,
something.
it's hard to think about that, right?
Yeah,
So
they
then
did
it's
something. Whoa.
oh, oh, come on, we were having like a great one. Oh,
It'll come back. It buffers. Don't worry.
It's okay. We can cut it out later.
But
It's
yeah,
fine.
in 15 minutes. Remember, 15 minutes. Write that down, Maria, because
okay,
now
okay.
you have to look for the whole thing.
Yeah. So yeah, it's hard to actually think of what they are doing. But anyway, we are not futurist people. We are just giving our opinion.
Yeah.
And I think in a couple of weeks, probably we will talk again about this, and we will see where we're standing, and what do we think that will happen, with DeepSeek afterwards. Guys, thank you so much for being here. It was a fantastic episode, and well, I'm looking forward to the next one.
Bye now.
I
See you guys.
I had something else I wanted to say, but okay.
Oh.